fellow watchers and enjoyers. It is I, Piggy, and I am joined by Ash. Hello, Ash.
Hello.
We are here to bring you yet another edition of Watching Walford. It's episode 113. Today's episodes are going to cover the biggest storylines and takeaways from week 9 of 2025. All the episodes from the 24th of the 2nd all the way to the 27th of the 2nd. Now, we're going to do this podcast a bit differently because Ash has heard the comments. I haven't seen them, so I don't know if this is true. Also, there's a rainbow up me. Look, hello. But we're going to do the 30 minutes at
the gays are taking over.
We're going
subliminal messaging.
Subliminal messaging. So at the end, we're going to...
It could be worse. I'm getting the bloody sun burning my neck.
Yeah, just quickly show everyone that. There we go. So what we're going to do is, it's going to be the introduction. Yeah, the 30 minutes are going to be at the end. And now we're just going to do the takeaways. I assume we're going to do the takeaways of the week. And then we're going to do
we're going to talk about the EastEnders first is the main point.
And then
just
awards.
To fully clarify, we're talking about the EastEnders first. And then we'll recap the week. We'll talk about all the storylines. We'll then do the awards. And then we'll just talk nothing for however long we see fit. So format change.
So, just a question. How long do you have your duration on for Faye? Just very quickly.
Like 350 ms.
Alright, grand. Thank you. So, our first topic, I'm going to keep this on Ash while I type in the timestamp. Our first topic is Teddy is in the cook chair.
He's not, but he is.
Right.
But, the PG family-friendly version.
He is in the chair that looks over as Grant and Sharon do some sexual intercourse.
Banging tongues.
They're wrestling. Just don't ask why the penis is going into the vagina. We don't know why, but they are wrestling. So yeah.
Yeah, actually, what's the other topic?
The other topic is people grieve over Martin. That's literally it.
How dare they?
Yeah, I couldn't think of like a title for the second one. But I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Like Ruby gets cooked over Martin by Stacey.
It's on the brain apparently.
It's the cooking show.
Yeah, we're big fan of baked goods.
Yeah, exactly. So where do we start? Well, we start off with Monday, and Grant is still wind up. He's still
doing nothing.
he's doing nothing. He's talking to Nigel, and Nigel's like, yeah, Grant, you should really see Phil. Grant's like, I don't know why he's talking about his feelings. You don't do that. We're men. And it's like, yeah, but maybe now it's not the right time, Grant. And he's like, why does no one listen to me? And then continuing on, he does go to see Phil. Him and Nigel go to see Phil. Actually, firstly, the Mitchells gather around the house. I love this because like Grant stands up to Harry, and Harry stands up to Grant because like Grant is like, he's like, don't start on Billy, and I'm like, why are you defending Billy, Harry? He's gonna do bloody nothing.
He's a little Rottweiler, isn't he? He'll bite your kneecaps.
Imagine he just bite the kneecaps. But yeah, so as I was saying, he goes to see Phil, and then they sit around. They ask Nigel to make some tea. He does.
I mean, it's also just generally the confrontation with Grant and the new Mitchells. He's very standoffish. He is. What? We're supposed to see him? We don't know anything. Oh, you're telling people? Why are you telling people? You idiots! He's just angry. He's angry at the world. Is Grant at this time?
I'm also like the weird thing is he doesn't know these Mitchells. So like So my question is, wouldn't your first interaction with the guys who are claiming to be Mitchells, wouldn't your first interaction not be how are you related and not like related? Are you? Well, good enough.
I mean, Teddy does say that, like, look, he's my cousin. Don't, they know that they're the new Mitchells.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can tell by the baldness on his head.
Yeah.
But poor, I don't know what's his name. I forgot his name. Perry Warwick, the guy who plays him.
Perry Fenwick.
Has got a lovely
Billy.
Yeah, Billy's got a lovely hair transplant. So yeah.
Best hair transplant in soap.
I would agree. A new segment, best hair transplant soap. What do you reckon?
Me, number one. Let's go. Look at it, beauty. I'm too poor for a hair transplant. I just gotta go bald if it happens. It's-
True.
get that Watching Walford money coming in. Get those hair plugs.
Go to Turkey.
The weird thing where I don't. This is going to be a weird thing, but the weird thing about a hair transplant is it never looks right. Is the problem? Like you never. Usually, people who get a hair transplant, it's still thinning at the same time. As much as they're taking like fucking finasteride and minoxidil, I think those are the two fucking two drugs for it. But your hair is still thinning, so even if you've gotten a bunch of hairs from the back of your neck banged in, so you have a really eerily safe hairline like this, you never really grow it out because it's still thinning and it just looks like shit. Sorry, boys.
My favourite thing is I was watching this thing.
Ash takes on hair transplants.
I was watching this. I was watching these guys. It was a Russell Howard clip, and Russell Howard went to one of the lads because he was balding. And have you ever thought about getting a hair transplant? The guy's piping going, we actually were going to do it for Patreon. Got a video on Patreon. And they actually got a hair transplant company.
I've seen this clip.
Yeah, they got a hair transplant company. And they asked him to take photos. And he took photos of his head. And then they went, yeah, mate, you're too bald. We can't do it.
You're too bald, mate.
Yeah, imagine.
Well, it's just, you see it because for some reason a bunch of Reddits cropped up of r/bald. Or r/whatever hair treatment drugs. And the amount of times you just see the most ridiculous shit. Where it's a guy who's clearly bald, but he has this leftover bit of long hair that he just dangles over like a fucking slug over his head, just yeah, guys, I think it still looks good. How about this? It's shit. Shave it.
Also, when you get a hair transplant, you can't get a haircut, can't you? So I thought for the longest time, if you get a hair transplant, you can't get a haircut.
No, you can get a haircut. You don't really mess with a hair typically.
Oh, fair
if you get a hair transplant, you're clinging onto your hair for dear life. You're not gonna get rid of it unless you have to. But some people like to shore it up and get it trimmed, and
that's fair enough.
But it just never really grows that long.
Don't ask why I thought you can't get a haircut if you got a hair transplant, because I don't know. It's just a weird question. I thought it was like Pandora's box, because you don't touch the hair. But yeah, speaking of men with no hair, Grant sees Phil, and as Nigel is making the tea, they sit down and talk, and Grant's like, Phil, what's wrong with you, Phil? And Phil's like, I'm clearly struggling here, Grant. And then Nigel brings in the tea, and he's like, oh god, that's horrible. Probably because Nigel made it horrible.
Well, it's just one of the tea machines. He didn't make the tea.
Fair enough. I just thought he made the tea. And they basically have the tea, and it's like, God, this is like Aunt Sal's tea. You could bloody make cement out of it. And they're like, yeah. And then Phil just casually goes, wish you died, mate. Don't want to be your brother.
Well, it's just why are you even here? What are you even here for? What's the point? You're just here to talk about you. You're not here to talk about me. You weren't there. You were never here. I've been through a lot, and you weren't here. I needed you before. You are dead to me. I don't want to see you anymore.
Yeah.
And that's basically that thing. Phil just decides, I've had enough of you, mate.
Yeah, you've described it perfectly. And then we just see Grant arguing with Nigel. The following day. I know you're not supposed to laugh because Nigel has dementia. But my favourite bit is Grant, because Nigel's obviously made the tea in the kettle. And my favourite thing is Grant being like, bloody, tea bags don't go in the kettle.
Who put tea bags in this kettle?
It's just, and then he does can you do the expressive eyebrow as you're doing it? Who put tea bags in this kettle? Just with the expressive eyebrow.
We've really got it down pat. Do we do it with a different eyebrow?
Yeah, I do it with my right, not my left.
Oh, yeah, I do it with my left. Oh, no, I do it with my left. Anyways.
Yeah,
my just left. With how the camera looks, we're doing it opposite sides. Great.
Ooh. But yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, he goes and has breakfast with the Mitchells. And, the Mitchells are like, how's Phil? And he's like, Grant, yeah.
Shut the fuck up! It's basically it. Shut the fuck up! Who the fuck are you, Baldy? Grant, you're bold as well. Yeah, well, at least I'm not fucking bold like you.
My favourite thing is he just lets you like ask questions of why Phil went to Portugal, and then he's like, "Why is she in school?" Her granddad's just been
like I said, he's just angry at the world. I will say he's got some he's got some expressive eyebrows though.
He does, yeah. We do
like
perfectly.
For a man who looks like he has no hairs left on his body, he's got some big fluffy eyebrows on him.
I don't know why, but I always thought if Ross Kemp got a hair transplant, it kind of looked like Peggy the hairless pug from Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes, he's not got enough hair, mate.
You
Look,
might get a little tough.
When you get a hair transplant, you take out the hair follicles, or like wherever you can get it, and you put it at the front.
Yeah, but come on, it's Ross Kemp. If he can do cameos, he can do like a hair transplant. Are you 6? Is that a truth or is that a lie? That's the truth. Happy birthday. So yeah, he just argues at the Mitchells while he's doing cameo at home, probably. And so yeah, he just yells at Nigel again, and then Nigel's like, "Just leave, Grant. No one wants you here. Just leave." And
yeah, even Nigel's like, "I'm sick of you, mate. I've had enough. Like, you've come here, you're not really listening to anyone. You're just arguing."
And then like obviously Nigel talks to Yolande and mentions like Phil's struggling. I think Yolande comes to see Nigel later on, and then it's like, "Yeah, I want to die on my own terms," says Nigel. And then Ross Kemp or Grant goes,
"Right, they're talking about the dementia.
The dementia.
How important, like, Nigel, he doesn't want anybody to know. He wants to go out on his own terms." And yeah, that is when Grant comes in like, you want to die? Do you want to die? Yeah, that for me. That's a picture perfect Ross Kemp impression. Fucking it, nailed it, boys.
You have to do the eyebrows as you're doing it. That's the problem.
Do you want to die? No, I lost it. I can't multitask.
Do you want to die?
You're just doing your own voice, mate.
I can't do a Ross Kemp impression.
Hello, do you want to die? That's not even you.
Hello. Hello.
Why we checked out the EastEnders? This is supposed to be EastEnders, but
hello.
Been good fun though.
I'm trying to do Mrs. Doubtfire. You're trying to do Ross Kemp. Hello. You want to die? You want to die? I don't know why he's high pitched. His ball doesn't drop.
But yeah, and this ensues. Yolande leaves, and now Grant, he does the Mitchell thing. He just gets once again, unsurprisingly, he gets really mad. Why couldn't you tell me? I would have helped you. And then Nigel's like, because you get like this. You just get really angry. You don't want to talk about it. Yeah, I'm not fucking angry. You're angry. It's like, Grant, he's telling you he's dying, and you're just like, what the fuck did he tell me, you prick? You chosen Phil over me again, you ball bag. Grant.
My favourite bit, and I want you to do the impression when he gets back to the house, because I love this line. But yeah, just keep it in mind, you probably know the line. But yeah, like Nigel is like, I don't want you giving me sponge baths. I don't want you doing any of this. And then Grant leaves, and he goes meet with Sharon, and then he talks to Sharon, and this is the moment. And
I don't remember the line. I'll be honest.
No. It's when he gets back to Nigel. He goes, "I want to give you all the sponge baths." Like, and he does.
I'll give you all the sponge baths. Just like, all right. It's not a good impression. It's a terrible impression. Need to stop.
Just because that is Ross Kemp to me. That is Ross Kemp. But
yeah, point being, Nigel and Grant, they don't really have a breakthrough. It basically just gives Grant the time. He realizes he needs to sort his shit out. He's in no real fit state to help anyone. He's clearly got something else going on that we don't know about. And then he goes to Sharon, and then they actually open up. Sharon, who has just gotten back from hospital, realizing Martin's dead, grieving, in shock, needs to talk to Michelle. She spends some time at Teddy's, who screens her call. I don't know what wrought bloke does that. I've just called off. I've just not allowed you to speak with people who are calling you. All right, fucking, you don't know who the fuck is calling me. It could have been some guy telling me I need to fix my internet or something. But fucking, don't reject my phone calls, you knobhead. And because he screened one from Michelle, what the fuck, man? So she gets a bit angry. She goes back to the house, or to Zach, I don't remember. They have a little cuddle. And then, then we reach the point where Grant and Sharon have a little conversation after all this time.
And he kisses, and then Sharon leaves to answer the phone. There's some guys just prank called her, and he gets Mark Fowler Jr.'s number and just remembers that.
And also, they just generally have a conversation about, Grant, like, oh, you are still a good man, Grant, and all the things after all this time. Like, Phil, you always chose Phil, blah, blah, blah. Just going through all their history, like a nice little, not regurgitation of the past, but just a nice little reminder of all the history they have and, them being a good man. And, he still feels bad about a lot of the stuff he did. But, it's flirty, it's back and forth.
And then they have a little kiss. They start kissing. And then I have the phone here. And then
Teddy's sat in his little chair in Peggy's, like, 'cause he's wallowing. Or Harry's barn. He's sat. Oh, bloody hell, son! Can you fuck off? He's sat in his little. I'm gonna have to close that curtain in a second. He's sat in his little chair, and Harry says, "Look, mate, you've got to give us space to grieve. You've got to give us space." So he gives her a ring. He's like, "Oh, hello, Sharon. I just want to." I'm open to giving you all the space and time you need to grieve. And this is a Sharon's playing fucking tonsil tennis with Grant. Like they're pumping like rabbits. It's ridiculous how turned up it gets. Like I don't know if that was allowed on TV. I watched it at like 10 in the morning. I was like, bloody hell. They're banging tongues. They're Grant and Sharon rekindle the past, and Teddy's just saying like, "Hello, Sharon, are you okay?" As she's hugging Grant Mitchell. It's so funny because he's in his little chair, and it's not supposed to be funny because he is getting cucked. He is like someone is sleeping with his missus. And he's just sat there like, I made the joke and it's a really harsh reference, but he's like the divorced dad who's telling the kids that their new dad who cheated on her with their mum is actually gonna he's actually gonna be he's gonna be a really good dad, and he's gonna read you all the bedtime stories, and he's gonna be great. It's like, do you have no shame? Like, it's just so funny. He's just sat in his little chair. Between this and like Emma intimidating the child, this is in the Watching Walford Hall of Fame. Teddy in his little chair while Sharon's tonguing another Mitchell.
It was so funny though. Yeah, he's just sat in the chair like, hello Sharon, I love you, babe. And she's like, oh, Grant, harder. And she's probably going, Grant, harder, Grant. He's like, hello.
Not even in a bed, on the kitchen floor.
Yeah, and he's just pumping Sharon, and he's like, really miss you, babe. Really miss you. And she's like, oh yeah,
I love
Grant.
you and I miss you.
Where are you? Come on.
It's so like, I've been in a bit of a haze watching soaps for like the last little bit. I've not really been as like invested as I usually am. This bit fully sent it back home. It's just he's just in his little chair. He's in the chair in the corner of the hotel room, just watching the horror.
He's just watching your missus get fucking pumped. And then his dad goes, then the other man goes, smell my fucking fingers. That's what real success is, bitch. It's just like.
But yeah, that got a bit graphic, but as expected, it's a funny little segment. Who cares? But yeah, so they have a shag. The day after, they're quite happy, but she realizes I can't really do that. Grant says, look, you deserve a good man, after all this time. But this is also setting up the fact that once again, and as we'll get into when Phil and Grant have another conversation, but this conversation also gives Grant the kind of perspective of, I should probably sort out my own shit before like helping out anybody, because him and Nigel have a conversation about how his life isn't exactly working out well. He's in an on and off again relationship with a woman, and it's not really consistent. They're just shagging, essentially. It's a hot and cold relationship. He's not seen Courtney in a while. They had an argument. Mark knows that he's his dad, but he still hasn't gotten in contact with him. So, like, everything in Grant's life is a mess. And, he kind of realizes maybe it's time. What happens first? Is conversation with Bianca or is conversation with Phil?
Bianca, I believe.
All right.
Yeah, so
you go into the Bianca stuff.
Yeah, if you want to close your blind, you can.
Fuck it.
Nah, fair enough. Which I thought was going to happen to Bianca. I thought she was going to get a bit of the Grant Mitchell special. 3 for 1 on the pepperoni, extra sausage.
That's awful.
But yeah, I can't do it justice. He just goes in and he just goes, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
Well, it's just because Bianca is still living. Bianca's still living at Sonia's, and Sonia has invited the Carters to go ahead and live there. Like she's still with the Carters. Now they're living with the Carters. All the stuff's moved, but she's also back in. She's also back in just living there and all seeing all of Reese's old stuff, and she's clearly suffering with PTSD. She was kidnapped for months. So seeing like the tuba stresses her out, seeing the dollhouse again really stresses her out. And at the end, like, she does seem to show some tendencies, like having a panic attack, having some real problems with it. And Johnny kind of helps her through it. For a second, I thought she was going to try kiss Johnny, which was going to be a funny thing.
Me too.
Because it's like Bianca, he's gay as fuck. He tried to kiss Whitney once and it didn't end well.
That was the original Johnny. This is the new Johnny. He's the
true.
New dad.
This is the new Johnny.
But
not like the old Johnny. The old Johnny stinks.
Well, Johnny too does have some smelly cheese to him. So yeah. Continuing on. As I was saying, so he goes and sees Bianca. He goes to the laundrette looking for a cab, and he doesn't get a cab, but he does go to see Bianca's on the floor because they've just rang Bianca. Well, they were supposed to ring Sonia, and she picked up the phone and they went. Reese's body's ready to be like shown, I guess, ready to see it. I don't know what you're gonna see. He's being crushed.
Just to confirm.
Just to confirm. But he will be back in about 20 years' time, don't you worry. Well, Sonia, hello there, baby. I'm back from the dead. I don't know why he's Austin Powers. He's been frozen in the 70s. But yeah, she goes and has a panic attack in the cab on the floor in the lingerie. And then my favourite bit is they talk. And obviously she does a Dot impression. Can you do a Dot impression? Like,
no.
Where she cigarette in hand, like, come on now, like imagine dying in the laundry. And then Grant, my favourite, I wish Ross Kemp did an impression of Pauline. Like, I wish. But yeah, he's like, it'd be better than Pauline dragging you to the other side. You'd rather go to hell. It buckled me. But Pauline's dead for 20 years and she's still getting fucking shaped. What did she do to anyone? Who did Pauline piss off?
I don't know. They just hated Pauline in the end.
My favourite thing is whenever they can, they always throw in a slight jab at Pauline. Like with
fucking the dragon. It's like, guys, come on, man. I get she did just yell at everyone in the end, and she was really miserable. But like, it's not her fault.
It was like the other week when they were showing on Cat and Mouse, where they were showing like the Arthur and Pauline clip. Just everyone going, is Pauline smiling? And back to normal. She's not smiling.
She was never happy. Was old Pauline?
Just any opportunity.
She was happy in the 80s and the 90s, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but then she's.
What would you be happy if would you be happy if it's like, and Pauline is going to die a crippling death with cancer? So, what we doing that? No. Yeah, and Pauline's just going to be killed off with Pete Beale, the prick. Like, they were just looking for excuses to kill her off.
I just do love it though. I just love it. Any opportunity that was lovely person. Pauline, fucking cow. Just like, what did Wendy, whatever.
What did she do?
Yeah, what did Wendy, whatever her real name is? What the fuck did she do? But yeah, they talk, and yeah, Bianca does a dot impression, and I love it. I love the dot impression.
But yeah, it's just, they have an open conversation. Grant says how he does still think of Tiffany. He does still regret each time he comes back. It reminds him of all of the stupid shit he's done, and like the dumb bit of Grant comes out, and she goes, can't blame the place. But in the end, they have a nice conversation where, he mentions how he slept with Sharon again, and she's like, bloody hell, you idiot. But, it gives him some more perspective. And she's like, I do still like it around here. It does grow back on you. Because I feel like as an older EastEnder, you just you either never leave or you just like come back for like a second, because otherwise you're just gonna like a love triangle is just gonna form around you or so. It's just how EastEnders works. But he kind of realizes, yeah, it's time to go, but I should go see Phil. And then he goes to see Phil, and they actually have a really, really nice little... It's still like two 50-year-old people who don't know how to talk about their feelings talking to each other, but it's like, Grant's like, look, I know I shouldn't have... I know I've been making it all about me, but like, I'm here for you, and I know I should have called you more, and I will call you more. And Phil's like, what am I supposed to say? Sorry, I love you now. It's like, that's just not happening. But they mutually agree, like, look, I should have been here more, but you also had a lot going on. But at the end of the day, we're gonna keep in contact now. And they basically say I love you, but without saying I love you, because like, yeah, mate, you take care of yourself, yeah. And they share a big hug, and it's like, yeah, they've finally done it. Oh, it was great.
And then
a really, really wholesome scene, and it's finally nice. It's finally nice we had that conversation.
Yeah, and then he does obviously the line to Nigel, like, I'll give you all the sponge bats. And like Sharon meets up with him. And also Phil does confess that he does still love Sharon. Which, no, we're getting Sharon and Phil again. Yeah.
Just somehow, Sharon's gonna get pregnant. Somehow. Don't know how. He will.
Yeah.
She will, rather.
Grant will have a child. Let's go. Sharon, hopefully. But yeah, as I was saying, and then he obviously meets Sharon at the station. He tells Sharon he loves her, and he has his bags prepared, and then
he says she deserves a good man.
Yeah, because obviously Teddy's been cocked, like, so yeah. And then Nigel shows up, and he's like, I can't leave Grant, I have to stay here. And Grant understands, and he's like, all right, mate, fair enough.
Did you choose him Phil over me again? Oh.
So he's not getting them sponge bats off Grant, but Phil will be giving them to him. So
exactly.
I will say that's a lie. They don't really. It depends on the person, really. Who's I can confirm as a person who lived with a dementia patient. My nanny used to complain. I can probably tell this story, but very quickly. Just we did have a cleaner, not a cleaner. We did have a carer come in once, who was a bit overweight, a bit plumped,
yes,
shall we say, and obviously my nanny had a disabled shower because she was getting old, and so the lady obviously had to bring my nanny in and wash her. They sit my nanny back in the chair. Obviously my nanny was trying to be polite even though she had dementia, and obviously she's cleaning the bathroom, and then my dad goes to my nan, what do you think of that? And my nan goes, I couldn't fucking move, that fat bitch was in the way. Jesus Christ.
The stuff you shouldn't say, but
I went, did she really say that? And he went, yeah. It's just like she waited until she left the room is what makes it better. But yeah, so yeah, that's all the Nigel and Grant stuff. I honestly thought Grant was gonna get Julia's theme for a second.
Yeah, I was getting a bit worried.
But I didn't mind. I wouldn't care if he got Julia's theme. But yeah, continue.
But yeah, honestly, this stuff, I wasn't receptive to Grant's return at all, because up till basically the last two episodes of the week, he was fucking garbage. But the two, like the Wednesdays and Thursdays episode, truly it encapsulated the character. It was really, really strong, and I was kind of blown away at how I was kind of blown away how it just it all made sense in the end. Like you know how I kind of always joke that I keep joking that Dirty Dancing is a shit movie, but at the end the lift happens, and then suddenly it's like, oh my, incredible! Like that was this for me. Fucking Grant's Return was shit until the last 2 episodes, and then suddenly it's like, oh my god, come back, Grant, come back soon. Like they really kicked it into gear. But this return was the lift at the end of Dirty Dancing. Like, it's just like, oh my god, incredible! I fucking hated watching Dirty Dancing when I watched it. But the second that lift hits, I'm crying. Like it's fucking, oh, it's so good. It's insane. It's insane how quick a turnaround it is.
But yeah, just to very quickly give my thoughts. Then I'll go on to Martin. And I'll run through the Bianca stuff like in the Martin bit because I've just Sonia. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I like the nostalgia of mentioning Dot and Pauline, even though Pauline got the tougher end of the stick, which is weird. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's weird because I brought this up to Ash, like off. I was gonna say off screen, off camera, both work, I guess. And I went, if Patsy Palmer can do a kind of a year's stint while also living in America and like flying in and out to like obviously show up, like she's been here for a year on and off. If she can do that, then why can't Ross Kemp do just a year? I'm not expecting him to do 5 years, 10 years, 50 years. Just a year on and off, like where he can come in and out. He can live in the Mitchell house and you rarely see him, but like he's just there. Like it's not really like Ross Kemp is kind of retired, and like he doesn't really need to do much, but he could just be there for Phil. Like you can make some bullshit excuse there, like oh he's in. Like if you want, he all he has to do, like if he doesn't appear for 3 weeks, he's in Portugal helping out the businesses. Then he's back, and then he's like, it would be nice to see Grant a bit longer than a week. Well, I know it's technically 2 weeks he's been here, but still, it just would be interesting.
I don't disagree. I don't know. It's kind of like I said. It did generally make the return. The last few scenes where we finally see what Grant was really here for. And I wouldn't mind a big return, but I'm also kind of. I spent the bulk of this stint remembering why Grant doesn't really come back for long stints anymore, because there's only really so much you do with the character, and like I can't imagine him like breaking bread with Ian Beale, for example. Like it's just he's built up the reputation that he only comes back for the really big important scenes, and I wouldn't mind seeing him for an extended period of time, but I think when you do that, you do run the risk of overexposing Grant, which is something you just don't want to do, because you don't want to have him leave the show with less stock than he came into it, right?
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, people always want Grant to return because he comes back for a short period of time, reminds you why Grant is an interesting character, then fucks off.
I do agree with that. It just would be like one last time. I think the last time he's going to do a long stint will be when Phil dies, even though, again, like I mentioned to Ash off camera, I would have preferred if, like, fantasy booking this, I would prefer if you had to kill one of the Mitchells, it's Grant first and then Phil, because it's kind of like Michelle, where it's like, yeah, Phil's dead, so Grant's just like here, he's off camera, and then he just randomly dies in Calbona in like 2 years' time.
Making up a place.
Calbonia, whatever that place is called.
Is that actually a place?
It's I don't know. I think it is. I just butchered the name wrong. I'm thinking of a different thing, but yeah, it's Cal. I
have no idea.
He dies on Wank Mountain, which is a real mountain. Wank Mountain is, I believe. So he just dies there. But yeah, continuing on. I guess
right next to yours.
So moving on.
Yeah.
This is the Ruby Island special, but the problem is I have to run through it unless Ash really wants to.
I got to put in some graft. No, I mean, honestly, I don't really have much to add to this section. This one's going to be a much shorter one, honestly. It's basically Stacy refuses to tell Ruby that Martin said he loved her when she died. But because she's allowing Ruby to think this, Ruby's now making a bunch of decisions and a bunch of judgments about the funeral, because instead of where Stacy's surrounded by family and support, Ruby's surrounded by herself and her son. So she feels like she's kind of clinging on to the last remains of Martin, which is alienating everybody else, because now at Martin's little like party wake, they're playing classical music and shit. So you have all the Stacy's kids all like crying and upset because Martin's gone, and like Kush is like Arthur's lost both of his dads. And Lily has a bunch of her plans and ideas of what she wants the funeral and the wake to be like. But Ruby is kind of, it's just been proving that Ruby didn't really know Martin that well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of grating on everybody else. Stacy lets it slip to Eve that, look, when Martin died, he said he loved me. He said we were going to get married. Lily overhears this and is then, she didn't need a reason to hate Ruby, but she fucking does. She absolutely despises her. And at the like little party that she wanted to do to just have a bunch of the mates gather round and all have a drink to toast Martin, Ruby takes it over and makes it a big party instead. And like she's playing some really weird classical music for the funeral. She said maybe we'll, like, he goes into "You'll Never Walk Alone," which, you know, it's the famous Liverpool football song. And Martin is a Spurs fan, which is also funny because fucking Martin couldn't even win in his sports. Spurs haven't won shit. Why would you be a Spurs fan, you fucking moron? Anyways, you typically don't choose what football team you support, but like, fuck me, you couldn't catch a break. Martin couldn't catch a break. And yeah, just immediate. But it all comes to a head. Howie and Billy start playing Mr. Brightside.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, fucking June.
My favorite bit. It's just like, do you mind if we put on some music, Lily? And Lily's like, go ahead. So they pop
Coming out of my cage and I'm doing just fine.
Ruby's just like, yeah, but like, it's just the fact where it's like, okay, some music, and then I hear the start, like, that's not Mr. Brightside, is it? And then I hiss, I'm coming out of my cage and I'm doing just fine. Gotta beat up. Like, he's dead. Fucking two-step into the fucking way. Come on, get Mr. Brightside on. Tunes, way. Fucking do. Fucking Crazy Frog on that beat. Come on. Do. No, that's not Crazy Frog. But yeah. Can you do Crazy Frog?
Bing. But yeah, and at the end, that Ruby is kind of she's just struggling the most, and Honey gets Billy to do a speech, being like, "Yeah, we all loved him, didn't we? You know, he was great. He was all our friends. I knew him when he was a kid. You know, it's so weird to think that he's gone." And then Ruby kind of opens up, saying, "How, like, you know, we thought we were going to spend the rest of our lives together. We had our family." And then Lily just fucking snaps and says, he didn't even love you anyways. He loved Stacy instead, you bitch. Fuck you, essentially.
Yeah.
I know that's heavy on the swearing, but it's basically what she says without saying it.
Yeah.
And then Ruby is furious, goes to Stacy and is like, Stacy, Lily said this. You weren't even there. I'm done with your family. And then Stacy's like, no, he did love you. He told me he loved you and he wanted to get married to you. Because once again, Stacy is just lying about it. Like, what is the moral thing here to do? Do you, in this situation, do you actually tell her the truth or do you just let her believe the lie?
See, I think it really depends, because if you let them believe the lie, then like they're gonna manifest that, oh, you really did love me, and it's like he didn't. It's kind. I'm not gonna say it's the same thing where it's like
It's kind of cruel.
it's. I don't want to say it's like Stockholm syndrome, but it kind of is in a sense. Or it's like when you had a very bad experience, but you still love the guy who did the bad experience to you, but you still love him.
Hmm.
Is that kind of? I know that's very out
What,
there.
like Stockholm syndrome?
Yeah, like I just said, Stockholm syndrome. I basically said Stockholm syndrome twice, but yeah, it's basically like that. But the problem is, if you let them believe the lie and it manifests, they're gonna think, oh, they want to spend the rest of my life together. It's like, no, bitch, you
And
ain't a fart.
then you can you can't like you can't go back on it either. If you commit to it, you can't just say no, he loved me actually. I was like, well, why did you fucking lie about it? Why would you lie about something so like cruel?
It's
So like you get the idea that Stacey wants to prevent her grief and it's her secret and her secret alone, but also it's probably going to stop her from actually grieving in the way that she would. So it's just a weird one.
it's just a weird thing, like grief. Like I can say this because we both grieve. We are different people, but grief is
Yes.
a very fucking hard thing to go through.
Everybody grieves differently.
Yeah. I like my nanny died. I started playing Mr. Brightside the minute she died. Just come on out of my come on, Grant. Start shaking the bed. Come on, Grant. Are you not fucking excited? Come on, Grant. The Killers are a great band. Imagine doing that, but yeah. Actually, when my nanny died, I really just wanted to sleep in her bed because she had one of those hospital beds that inflated. So I would have really liked it. It looked very comfy. But yeah, yeah, you don't.
I've seen a lot of people. I've seen a lot of polarizing. I've seen people either despise they absolutely despise Stacey for like killing Martin, or they just hate Ruby because they like Stacey.
The problem is
it is setting up for the war.
it's the problem you do in any like soap where you can cause an accidental war is
Rift.
a strong word, but yeah, rift. Where obviously like you're gonna have the people that loved Martin and they think this death is wrong. It's the worst death possible. We literally did a video where it was Ronnie and Roxy is one of the worst deaths possible, and also Pat, technically Pat as well. But it's the problem you're gonna cause that divides fans because people are gonna be team. There's gonna be like fucking football teams here. Team Stacey, Team Ruby. Then there's gonna be me in the back. Team Sonia, and then there's gonna be you in the very very back. You're gonna be on top of the building with a gun. You're gonna be Team Sarah. Sarah. What is that her name? Team the stalker Sarah Kent.
Yeah, that's me. I'm the
Yeah.
only one on that team.
Yeah, you're on top
Sorry,
of the roof.
I just phased out everything for a second, and I was in the shadow realm.
But
But yeah, no, definitely. It's either are you Team Stacey, are you Team Ruby? You can go either way. Don't think it'll be as polarizing as Team Edward versus Team shit. It was the other guy in Twilight. You're seeing Twilight soon.
I'm seeing Twilight next month. Yeah, well in 2 months. Yeah. Well,
Who the fuck? Who was the other one? You had Edward. Edward was the sexy vampire, and who was the wolf?
I don't know. I haven't seen Twilight yet. I will give my honest review.
Team Jacob. There we are. Jacob. Team Edward. Team Jacob. Yes, there we go.
It's Robert Pattinson, Edward.
Yes.
Thank you. I know to look out for a sexy Batman.
Exactly. But yeah, it's interesting how it's going to shape up, but it is also shaping up exactly how I thought it was. I was basically waiting till Stacey. I kind of predicted that Ruby would get along with the idea that Martin loved her and they were going to get married, etc. And then Stacey was going to kind of hold that secret, and it was only going to be a matter of time till Stacey or someone revealed that Martin didn't actually love Ruby. But like I can see both ways. Ruby has lost everything. Like she lost all the money that she had as a safety net. She lost now the father to her kid, who she only just let back in, and now she's back in Albert Square by herself, just like it was all those years ago, but without a father to her kid and without all the money that made shit a bit easier for her. Like she has lost everything. But also Stacey has lost the person who she wanted to be with for the rest of her life. you could argue soulmate in a way. I don't really know if I agree, but
I mean, in terms of Martin, like, it depends on what era of fan you ask. Because the
yeah,
2000s are going to say Sonya's soulmate. The 2010s are
yeah,
going to say Stacey. And then there's going to be people in the 2020s saying Ruby. So, yeah. I personally, like, I will say it's hard to fucking organise a funeral. Pretty much. Because you have to try and
yes.
please everyone. And it's very hard. But I gotta say,
Oh, please! I thought you said fleece.
It's
All
still
right, who's paying for this fucking thing?
going around with one of those like things that they use at church with the fucking
Spare
basket.
change. Spare change.
50 quid to the priest, please. That priest being me. I believe, yeah, I believe my priest at my nanny's funeral, Father Jagerbaum. I believe he was drunk.
Father Jagerbomb, legend.
I'm not calling. He's a legend of watching Walford because I talked about him before. But if you don't know, Father Jagerbaum was one of my priests in my old town. The reason he was called Father Jagerbaum is because he just loved Jaeger bombs. He was just like my favorite thing is, and it's a true story.
Cheap delicacy.
This is my favorite story. There's a lads on a stag do, right? And they seen Father Jagerbaum. They went, Father, do you want to come along with us? And he just went, give me 10 minutes. Took his collar off. Went on the piss. just went on the fucking piss. Like that is what a priest should be. Just a lad. But yeah, it's just a hard thing to organise. But hopefully Sonia helps out. She plays a little trumpet, you know. Maybe the tuba. You know. But it's Star Wars.
One of them. No, the one they play like after a war. The sad trumpet. Or trombone, I don't know. I don't know music. Like I played the cello, alright. I played the elite instrument.
I played the sandwich.
He's a seasoned veteran of the sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, clearly can tell by all the chins.
Mate, no one's seeing your chins past your chin.
Yeah, true.
Like,
true.
That's sticking out. If you ever need to dig a hole, you just bloody start chinning it.
Exactly.
Anyways, is it now time for the awards? I think we've gone through all the Ruby stuff.
Yeah, it is time for the awards. Let me just do a timestamp. There we go. Oh no, yeah, it is. Yeah. So what do you want? The awards is who needs slapping down, most underrated, and the Keanu Taylor Award of Excellence. So which one do you want to go first?
Keanu Taylor Award of Excellence. I'm giving that to Teddy, sat in his little cuck chair, waiting for Sharon to respond to his calls after she's shagged Grant Mitchell.
My favourite bit, I'm nominating it to like people.
And the wooden is him in that chair as well. Look, it's been exposed that he's not even the father of Barney, so he's a historic little cuck boy, isn't he? He loves it.
My favourite bit, I think it's Let It Be by the Beatles, or
yeah.
It's when it's not Mr. Brusher, but it's when they cut back to like it's when they cut back to the wake or whatever they're gonna call it, and it's like, hey, get where you're coming from. Hey. I don't know the name of the song. I think it's Let It Be, but I might be wrong. Hey, get where you're coming from.
It's like a Take That song, maybe.
But yeah, it's the one that was used in the children.
Yeah, it is. Never Forget by Take That.
Maybe. It's the one that was used in the children's melody that was posted that Peter Kay did. They called the cartoons. It was the one where all the cartoons sat on the beach and started singing that song. That's where I know it from. But yeah, I'm giving it to that one. They just cut back and it's like, get where you're coming from. Hey. Fucking come on,
man.
Yeah,
it's Never Forget by Take That. Love it. Yeah. Got it. Nailed it.
But yeah, they're just clapping. It's like, yeah, come on. He's fucking dead. Pour some more fucking pints. Come on, you. You fucker.
Yeah, it's a good one. What's the next award?
Underrated.
Johnny. He had some nice little scenes with Bianca this week. Yeah, that's it.
I'm just going for Grant's.
Critical analysis.
I'm not giving it to a character. I'm giving it to a line. I'm giving it to when Ross Kemp. I did that too quickly. Giving it to when Grant said, "I'll give you all the sponge bats," because that just buckled me for some reason. It's just his voice.
It was a funny line.
Yeah, because he said it. Now this might not reminisce for people, but it's like I hope most people have seen like the clip he posted where he's reading bedtime stories and CBeebies. He says it in that voice. Like, I'll give you all the sponge bats. Like he's just like he's very expressive about it. And I watched that one clip. I did watch that clip of him on CBeebies. It is funny because he's like moving his eyebrows as well as he's reading the story.
Well, that's what you do when you read a kid's book. You don't read it like it's fucking 1984. Like, you have to be expressive. Kids don't understand fucking inflections and tone.
Because he's like,
you got to do funny voices.
My favourite phrase is like, brothers never fight, do they? Ooh, down in the duff heads. Like, he just did. I don't know. And who needs slapping down? Oh.
I don't know, actually. Lily?
No, Lily doesn't need slapping down. Ruby.
Stacey,
if you want, yeah.
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 I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't like. I liked Ruby when she was with Martin. Martin's dead. I don't like either of them. I like Stacey. I don't like Stacey and Martin. I don't like Ruby by herself without Martin. Just out of me.
The Ruby Allen special is dead. And
exactly.
I guess that's the end of the podcast. Unless you want to do 30 minutes, or do you want to just leave it?
Well, probably not 30 minutes. Just any like extra. This is now the podcast after show where we just kind of talk nonsense for however long we see fit. So there we are. Timestamp ahead.
Yeah, you go first. You go first.
Honestly, my angle is just the channel's been going a bit crazy lately. Like, if we just talk about, like, post the 40th anniversary, it's kind of been wild. Because if you don't know, on YouTube, we'll peel back the curtain a bit, typically the most popular time of the year is Christmas, because most people are off work, it's the end of the year, and you also get a lot more time inside. So typically on YouTube, your numbers are ridiculously high at Christmas, and then it kind of comes back down to earth. But the thing that was kind of different this time is obviously the 40th anniversary is a really big deal. But the 40th anniversary was mental for viewership as well. Like, we pretty much, we got way much more time. Like, we got way much more views and watch time than we normally do. So I was kind of shocked by it. I kind of expected the 40th to be, I knew it was going to be big because it's what they've been building to, but like, I was still kind of amazed at how popular like our stuff has been and how like big all the 40th like celebrations were.
Yeah,
anything about this?
I agree. It's weird. Like we have done well on YouTube. Hopefully just will grow and grow. I don't care. Leave negative comments. Leave positive comments. Suggest video ideas. We did a video idea. Someone said about Ronnie and Roxy. That was mostly Ash talking because I don't really know much about Ronnie and Roxy.
But Piggy knows how his bread's buttered.
I did.
Alright, we're doing something historical. There we go. Alright, Ash, you're here. I'll pitch it. I'll pitch the ball. You launch it.
I did have some beans on toast though. Oh, that was nice for breakfast. Got up at 7 a.m. Went to the shop, bought some beans. So yeah.
Alright.
I also bought some bread because I have nostalgia for a slice pan.
You what?
I have nostalgia for a type of bread, a bread company.
You're fat, mate. Nostalgia for bread. What do you mean? How are you nostalgic for bread?
There's a unique smell of bread that just brings me back to childhood, and it's Irish pride. It's Irish pride bread because my dad used to live where the factory was, and it was the smell of that bread.
All right, Irish pride bread. What is it?
It's just white bread.
I'm looking at. It is just stock white bread.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Does other bread not smell like it?
It probably does. I just like that smell when it's toasted.
Oh, you just associated with it. All right.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't
Got
get
cooler branding, to be fair.
Yeah, it's just a giant logo. It says Irish Pride. It's
Yeah.
it's the pride. It's the bread that we use. In
Patriotic? Nah. Irish Pride.
It's the bread we use in the Pride community. You know, it's Irish Pride,
Yeah.
Gay Pride. You know, they rebrand every Pride month to Pride bread. So yeah. But yeah, because I was talking to a bunch of people like about food. Like, don't ask me why. I was talking to a bunch of people about food like yesterday, and obviously a bunch of them are Americans, and I'm obviously Irish. So one of the guys is American.
What?
Wow!
What?
No way! Wow! You couldn't tell by my accent. Wow! Obviously the guy is like on about like how he loves beans and toast, but he's an American.
Pipe down, sir. I like beans on toast. Don't you appropriate British culture, you little swine.
And like obviously people are like, that's horrible, and then I know I agree. And then
American, just anybody not in the UK is like, you like beans on toast? What's wrong with you? It's tasty, man. Yeah, sure, the texture's a bit fucked, but if autism man here can fucking like beans on toast, I'm sure you Yanks can deal with beans on toast.
I think it just depends on the bread you buy in America. If you're buying the sugary bread, it's not going to mix well with beans, is it?
Yeah, because you want like really like starchy kind of like stodgy. Well, it's just British food, right? It's just how British food works. A lot of British food back in the day was just made for sustenance. It's not made for taste. It's just made, let's just put some fucking dough in my belly. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't made to be fucking ridiculously tasty. It's tasty because of what you put it with. But like with beans on toast, you want it like, I don't know. I like, how do you like your toast? Do you like it like light or like burnt?
I like it light. I like it like sort of just nice and cooked, not overcooked. I don't mind if it's a bit golden crisp. I don't mind if it's like that. But I just like it like just nicely warm where the butter can melt. And you obviously see the butter melt.
I like a bit. I like a bit of burnt. Not like majorly, but I like a bit of burnt on my toast.
You're not going to believe this, but I have a Scottish cousin who loves burnt toast.
All right.
Like he
why did you say you're not going to believe this? It's pretty believable.
Just like I don't mean like burnt as in it's like
he's taken YouTube to a new level. You won't fucking believe this. Guy likes burnt. What? So he wants like a char grilled fucking.
When I say burnt, look at your cup. Look at your cup. Hold your cup up. It's that kind of burnt he wants. That kind of black. That kind of black. Like I mean.
That's wild.
Like I mean, like this kind of black. Like, does that make sense?
I don't mind a bit of burnt because it kind of adds a bit like a weird like flavor to it. But like the whole thing, nah.
I tried it. I tried.
How long's he putting the toast in the toaster for?
Oh, 10
he went in like 10 minutes. Like, fucking. What's the point? Your tea will be cold at that point.
Like I honestly tried it. Like I got my dad to make obviously that like his style of burnt toast, and my God, when I tell you, I took a bite, it was like eating coal because you're like, oh,
mate, you'd be getting nervous if you go around his house. Is that burnt toast? Call an ambulance! No, and he just shows up with a brick. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, man.
My favorite thing is, he lives in a caravan, so I'm like, it's even funnier because the caravan could burn down. It's just, he's back at it again, doing fucking burnt toast. He also loves smoked kippers, and I will admit I love kippers as well.
I've never tried it.
Oh, kippers are beautiful.
I've not really had much fish, to be honest. Bit of salmon, love a bit of salmon.
I used to be a fishitarian.
Bit of cod, not bad.
Yeah, like I
said,
a
fishitarian.
Yeah, where I didn't eat fish because I felt bad for the fish.
What do you mean a pescatarian?
Well, I called it a fishitarian. Where I didn't eat fish.
You're calling it wrong. But yes.
Where I didn't eat fish, so I felt bad for the fish, and then I just eventually gave up and ate the fish.
Not for any of the animals. Not for any of the other animals. Which are still getting slaughtered and murdered. But
just the fish.
I eat meat too. I don't make any stance about it, but just the fish. Why the fish? What about the fish made you feel bad for him?
Just didn't like that. Some child's fucking animal is just gone.
Why? Well, they're not taking. They're not taking little Jimmy's goldfish. Like they're just living in the ocean, living in the sea. They're not like. It's not like fucking. Oh, what's the movie with the child snatchers with the big nose?
What?
There's
Finding
the
Nemo.
child snatcher. Not Finding Nemo. Was it what the? Is it Chitty Chitty Bang Bang with the child snatchers?
I think it's.
Have I just dated myself? Yeah. But it is a '60s movie. Yeah, the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, where he goes by and steals kids. God, how do you not know? How do you not know Chitty Chitty? Oh, I'm sure you know Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah, but I haven't seen the movie. I know the song Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Toot Sweets, banger.
Yeah.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang's a wild one. I don't know why I watched it. But I did.
Well,
You know, up there with '60s movies like The Great Escape, absolute certified classic.
Yeah.
Long as fuck. It's long. How big? How long? Long. But a great movie. What the fuck was I saying? I don't even remember anymore, man. I've been completely thrown off in all different directions. I do understand getting nostalgic about some sort of food. Yeah, but most people get nostalgic about food. You get nostalgic about like what like the school served you. Like school food became shit after a while. I don't know about you, but like, you know, there was a time where you get like fucking pink custard and I don't even know, just some nondescript fucking like bread thing. Yeah, some nondescript like pudding. You get like the chips and beans and it's delicious. And at some point they just stop doing it. It's depressing.
See,
But then again, I also in high school we also just like had like cards and they'd sell like pizza and it's like, oh fucking yeah.
see, I don't know. Like, did your primary school serve food, or did you bring?
Oh, I still brought in packed lunches.
Yeah, no. But I mean, did your primary school actually sell lunches?
Yeah, they did sell lunches. Yeah.
Ours didn't. So
What?
I
How was
didn't.
that?
I didn't get any like. I didn't really have a fucking like a school cafeteria until like secondary school. So, and
Wait, were you going to like some fucking school in the boonies or what?
I like in my old town, like the school. By the time I got into sixth class, which would be so first year, I don't know. So I would have been so like 11. I would have been 11, whatever year that
Yeah.
is in Britain. But by the time I got into sixth class, they built an extension to the school, a massive extension. Because I literally, this extension was supposed to be built years ago, and I mean years ago. But it kept getting delayed, so they just had to get prefabs out, and I had to stay in prefabs for a few years. And then
What a prefab.
the built in like the container things. You just Google it, I can't describe it. I think they're called prefabs.
Okay.
I think that's what they were called.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
just staying on those. Like I remember vaguely I remember third class, and it always stuck out to me. And like obviously I'd been doing Irish up to that point, but obviously I went to pull out my Irish book one day, and then my S&A just came up to me and went, "No, what? No, you don't do that. No, what do you mean I don't do that? You don't do Irish anymore." And I'm like, "Okay, fair enough." Just
Did you ever figure out why?
I got exempt. It took me to third class to get exempt. My favourite thing is, it was literally like, you know that George Bush meme where it's the guy telling him that like 9/11 has happened? It was literally like that, where the teacher just came up to me, whispered in my ear, and I went, I guess I'm not doing Irish then. Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, yeah. See ya, fuckers.
And
I made a fucking ridiculous joke, and that's a complete tangent. But fucking, obviously, without explicitly saying, but you know, the fear. This at the end of the podcast. No one's hearing this, anyways. You know, with some questionable alliances in the world currently happening, and some plans about invading places. I made the joke that, like, you know, all right, we're all getting conscripted. We're all getting conscripted. And I said, no, I'm fine. I'm legally useless. I got the autism. I'm safe. I'm not getting sent. And then one of my brothers said, no, they're sending you in as the A team. And obviously the joke's like, yeah, we're the A team, we're going in first. And it's only at the end, it's like, yeah, we're the A team. And it's only at the end we'd realise we'd be the last to know that the A stands for autism. See, we're the A team, guys. We finally made it.
Do you know? Like, if we do end up in a war, I obviously brought this up before. Do you know Francis Bourgeois, the train guy? Like the guy who has the GoPro on his head, and he sees all the trains go by. He gets very happy when he sees trains. My favourite bit is...
Didn't get the train's autism.
My favourite bit is I'd send him, like, I'd have him be the detector for bombs and shit. He'd be great. Like, you strap a GoPro to his head. There's 5 in the bunker. Quick. 5. Get in there. Get him in a tank, GoPro on his head. He'd be fucking brilliant. He's a little
Hey,
rascal.
look, everybody shits on people with autism, but fucking...
I'd love to see...
We're safe.
I'd love to see him in war. He'd be fucking... I don't care. Give him an AK-47. He'd be fucking flying, like... GoPro on his head and everything. Mate. And you know what we do? Because they always talk about, like... how, like, we're not fit to fight in a war. Send all the old people in. Send them up to Ukraine. Go on, lads. Go on, Granny. You've been complaining about your arthritis. Get on that fucking shotgun and start shooting people. Go on, Granny. You said
in a video game, hypothetically, of course.
You said you wanted to fight for your country. Go on, now's your chance, love. See you. Fuck you. Bye. It saves fuel.
Yeah,
saves. You save a lot of money.
I was mostly just for that fucking joke. I just think it's a funny joke. Guys, we're the A team. We're finally the A team. And then obviously being the last to know, it's just guys, I think the A team stands for autism. Bomb goes off.
I'm gonna send it to you off camera. But my favourite thing is I've seen some guy do like do you know the meme of the army soldier where he's just deadpanned? Someone did that with the Rizzler and the older kid.
Yes.
And it makes me laugh. But it's like the Rizzler just taking a nuke to the forehead. Just for some reason. In the photo. But yeah. If we go to war, we go to war. We'll still be doing a podcast. People will be listening to us going into cities, Oh, Ash, do you want to talk about the EastEnders? What the fuck's going on, Ash? Like, you alright?
I mean, I like it. I purely brought it up just to get my joke in there.
I'm just imagining us doing a podcast in the fucking trenches. We're here.
I mean, don't worry. Pretty horrific thing. Pretty horrific. Don't even want to think about it. Horrific thing. War. It shouldn't be happening. And I don't know. I usually don't get worried about it, but shit's developing. It now might be time to get worried about it. But then again, we are two uneducated, stupid idiots. So don't take any of our words seriously, unless we're talking about EastEnders. So take all of them seriously and shout about it. You always got shouted at on Reddit a little bit. Some of our videos they've been popping off on the subreddits. I did notice that my video that I didn't post on there, someone else posted like this is the most embarrassing Coronation Street stunt ever. The Reddit fucking took it off, the cheeky bastards. It wasn't self-promotion. They took the post down, like posting the video.
Fair enough.
Hate the Reddit. Then again, it's also I'm just glad we don't do Reddit videos anymore. I fucking hate Reddit videos these days.
We still do them to some extent, but not as much.
I mean, the most is we'll take a topic. We'll take a topic off the Reddit, like maximum, and then go from there. But fundamentally, it's usually just if we can't have a proper conversation about it, maybe it's just not a good topic. At the end of the day,
yeah.
But I'm pretty content, honestly. I think we've managed to. I'm at the point of the channel where I kind of look back at what we were doing before, and it's like, how were we relatively successful with the shit we were doing before? Like we have kind of just failed upwards. That's how I describe this channel.
See, I'd eventually just want this, like my honest goal, if I'm being honest, and yes, it does involve money. My honest goal is just. It is just where we do get a decent amount of money, where we could eventually. Now I don't know if it's physically possible, based on two idiots on a salary that it depends on the growth you get. But if we somehow do get like into the 100k, like that kind of thing, we do get there if we continue doing this for the next 5-6 years. I would
Yeah.
I would love if we can eventually buy a house at some point, like just because that's the dream, isn't it? Just get a plot of land, build 3 houses.
Yeah.
Like,
That's my goal. That's my goal.
like you know what I mean? Like,
Not that I expect it would happen, but like I want to like I thought we all have the goals. We have the goals of stuff we want to do one day. I want to be able to own whatever place I live in. That sounds fucking. I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I'm still in the dreamer phase. Don't know how I'm gonna get there, but that is the end goal.
I mean, it is. It just I can see YouTube taking off is all, but it just depends because YouTube currently likes us, but will they like us in 5 years? When we're talking about death, it's the problem.
Yeah.
We don't know. Because I don't mind swearing less. That's no problem. I don't want to say like fail. I've obviously mentioned loads of times, but I just don't like
Punk machine.
Yeah. Like we wouldn't exist without swearing. But my favourite bit from the live stream last week was there was a guy with a Pingu profile who came into our chat and he said stop swearing,
guys.
and then he had to delete all these messages, and we just, what did you say? I was like, his mom just
the mum came in. You on that YouTube again, son? What did I tell you about that being on that fucking YouTube?
I don't know why she's case cooking.
Hi, you people.
You're on YouTube again.
But yeah, I don't know. I kind of, for the way I always envision this channel, I'd imagine we'd get like at maximum, if everything went well, I'd imagine we'd get like 20k. Not money wise, like sub wise. That's kind of where I imagined it being. But it's also such a weird little niche where it's kind of like, it feels like if we were to make it properly big, we would have to do like the some of the coolest seeming videos. Like they're not just talking about what's currently happening, just like the evergreen type stuff. Like, like we do want to do some form of. I'm not going to explicitly. I'm pretty sure we have talked about it, but I'm not going to explicitly say it in case anybody's like, I'm fucking stealing that. But just some sort of like dark, like the dark side of EastEnders, dark side of soap. Some like scandal based stuff, some stuff like that kind of like transcends it and isn't really for the average soap. Well, it is for the average soap watcher, but there's also more bait for the people who don't really watch soap. But it's like, that's fucking interesting. That.
Yeah,
and I think that's where we develop more next. That's where I'd imagine we go personally.
And that's where I'd probably step in and probably like voice it as really does have his videos, if that makes sense. I don't really. All I do is the spoilers. Sometimes I do.
I'm still doing some of those though. I'm not taking them all.
I'm not taking them all. I'm not
he's not stealing them all. The person who watches like the unsolved mysteries and all the horror shit. I want to do them all. No, they're mine.
No. He can do his own, but I just meant like I don't want to say for the majority, but for some of them I will be head honcho for it. Because obviously, like I said, Ash has his videos, Coronation Street, Hollyoaks, etc. And I just have the spoilers, and occasionally I'll review an episode from the past. I think I have one planned for July, but I'm saving it, which was going to be like the Olympics, but I realised the Olympics happened last year, so that's interesting.
Fucking, I've got a video prepared for the Olympics. The Olympics was last year. It happens once every 4 years. Bloody hell.
Only if I got in there in 2021 when the Olympics took place a year later. In 2021.
Fuck's sake. For sure. Like
that's one for your stream.
We'll happily get you to voice some. Well, because if there's any like lost media type shit, that's your shit. But
this is where I'm going to end probably the podcast, if you don't mind. But I do want to say my favorite thing is like I don't know if you there's a YouTuber I follow called L Supersonic Q. No, it's not a Chris Chan channel if you're wondering. No, Just put it out there. It's not Chris Chan. It's just a lost media YouTuber. But my favourite thing is he did a comic, right, where it was a bit not safe for work. A bit not safe for work. It was a big, thick anime woman that he did. He got backlash because he posted on his Spain. And obviously, if you don't know, lost media, he tends to do it about kids shows. So, like, obviously, like, he ran into a problem because you're promoting, not porn, but softcore, like, essentially. And then he obviously made it more safe for work. My favourite bit is we were all in. There's a specific chat for the adults, and we obviously told him, look, mate, we don't agree with this. Most of us don't agree with this. And then like a few months pass, and then he goes into the public chat, and he fucking just snaps. Like this one kid makes a joke at him, and he just what the fuck he just fucking snaps it. I'm like, whoa, mate, calm. I'm like, whoa, mate, calm down. But yeah, like as I was saying, I love LSQ because it's like, oh yeah, there was just lost media with Doctor Who, and then there was just lost media of SpongeBob. Would you believe that there's just lost media where SpongeBob said to Patrick, "Yo, Holmes, got any crackers?" That's lost media, like But then he'd be like, and then there's a lost episode of Doctor Who from the '60s. But then there's the voice. It just when it's SpongeBob. But I love lost media. If you can't tell.
I think it'll be an interesting angle for the channel to kind of go into. Not that like we're still gonna be doing all the normal shit, and like whether we actually get the rest of it done, whether we actually like. I've got an idea to just do a video talking about 6 of the most evil EastEnders, and then you kind of you present it in the because horror channels, they all have their way where they talk and they're like, "Hello, this is when I'm gonna talk about 6 of the most evil EastEnders," and it's just weirdly like the voice is intentionally slightly off. The bass is a bit like higher, but the EQ's slightly straight. Like and like even just you go back, look at like any like top 10 like horror channel from like 5 years ago, and it's like, yeah, I mean he's fine, but like you have Chills who has the most stupid voice whatsoever. You had like top 15s where it's like, and today we are going to talk about fucking stops that it just the presentation's really weird. But I've always had this really weird idea where I want to make a video that's just scary to watch. Like I want to make a video that's just uncomfortable to sit through, but also I don't know like where I do that or what I do it about.
Upload it on your channel on April Fools. Here's your on the Watching Walford channel, on your own channel.
See, you know what I take the piss out of you for saying like the one time you wanted to release a video on the leap year. Yeah. That's I want to release a video on the leap year. I want to make a video that's just so unsettling it's hard to watch. Like
you could do it on your own channel, mate. I can help. Fucking make it where you watch paint dry and then you do a scary jump scare in the middle of it. So it's like 10 hours. And then, like, in the 5th hour, you just see, like, Barack Obama has a weird face with Jeff the Killer, just like that. And then it's just back to normal.
But yeah, I suppose, well, that said, though, this, honestly, I think we stick to this format. This format of the podcast is better. Gotcha. I think this has been more fun. Tell us what you thought about it. Do you like this slightly different angle? Do you prefer the old way? All that and more. It's kind of a weird one where we kind of use the first 30 minutes if we weren't really fully awake. It would be the way to like tune up for the rest of the EastEnders. But this one went pretty smoothly. I'm sure on the more tired weeks it would go less smooth. But this was probably my favourite podcast of the while. It's good fun.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching. You do the outro.
We'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know down below what you thought, and we will see you again in the next one. Bye bye.